You know, I decided to do this a while ago. I'm going to go ahead and write this up here. That I was going to discuss the top 10 passers and the top 10 goal scorers, and today I'm going to do it. A lot of people aren't going to agree with my stats or my conclusions here. And there are so many players who I look at and I go, man, I got to have them in there. And then I look at the numbers and I go, I can't, though. I can't. So just doing a top 10 is hard. So I feel for the NHL and doing the 100 for the Centennial. Just throwing that out there. So, okay, top 10 passers. And all I've got is just the cards. And I don't have this planned out. I just did a video on my other channel, which I didn't have planned out either. I just went with a 10, and then I got crazy after that. I'm not getting crazy after this one. You don't have to do booking with NHL. Wrestling, you could do booking. NHL, it's just weird. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. No. Number 10. This one's relatively easy to eliminate right off the bat, but I could not keep him out of the top 10. Henrik Sedin is crazy in terms of his ability to find his brother and to find almost anybody else. Alex Burrows scored a lot of goals in Vancouver because of Henrik. Anson Carter's 30-goal season, Henrik. Now, the Sedins also credit Anson Carter with helping them get to that next level. But once they were at that next level, there was no stopping them. And Henrik has put up a lot of assists in his career. If Henrik had played during the live puck era in the 80s, he'd be at like 1,100 assists. Like it would be some insane total. So I have no problem putting Henrik in the top 10. And number 9, it gets hard already. It gets to the point where it's like, okay, I don't know. How do I discriminate? Ray Bork. He's the only defenseman I have on, I think, either list. Yeah, he's the only defenseman I have on either list. I couldn't have a defenseman on the goal scorers. And Bork had a fantastic shot. McInnes had a great shot. And I can do a top 10 in terms of defensemen for goal scoring by defensemen. But Bork was a great passer. Bork put up insanely good totals considering he was a defenseman. And his totals, while they dropped towards the end of his career, he was still really good at what he did. And that's why I couldn't keep Bork out of the top 10. I can drop him out at 9, but I couldn't keep him out of the top 10. I'll put it this way. The last guy I eliminated out of this was Yager. So that's how tough it is to make this list to me. Because there are so many really, really solid passers on this list. Number 8. Peter Forsberg. Forsberg was just, he was so fluid on skates. He was so fantastic out there. He's not on the goal scorers list, but I had to have him on the passing list. Had to. Absolutely such a fantastic passer, and I couldn't justify keeping him off that list. There is one, though, that I realize belongs in the top 10 goal scoring list, based on this. Not quite related to the list, though, so yeah. Forsberg, pretty damn good at what he did for a very long time. And it's a shame about the injuries. If not for injuries that shortened his career, he'd probably be higher on the list. Number 7, I'd have this guy higher too, but his window where he was really, really good was relatively short compared to some of the other guys on this list. Sergei Fedorov was really quite fantastic in Detroit. I know the later years of his career may have caused fans to forget some of what he did in Detroit, but he was a very, very, very good passing player. And fantastic at both ends of the ice. Sergei Fedorov was, this list is so hard to do. And I promise, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this, but it is so hard to do this because Fedorov was just beautiful to watch. So he's got to be on this list. He has to be. 6. Joe Thornton. Thornton's been a fantastic passer for very many years. To the point where he's kind of forgotten as a goal scorer right now, but Thornton is fantastically good in terms of his passing ability. And currently, at the time of recording this, in 15 games with San Jose, he's got 8 assists. So he's on pace for probably another 50 assists this year. Despite the fact that he is over the hill, but tell the guys he's passing the puck to that. Because he's still putting up a lot of assists. And Joe Thornton is one of the best. And again, let me make this clear. These are just the best that I've seen. I can't grade guys I haven't seen. So I can't grade Bobby Orr because I didn't see him play. Otherwise, I'm sure Orr would probably be at the top of this list. And he'd be on the goal scoring list too. Because just the highlights that I've seen of Bobby Orr were fantastic. Number 5. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. I can't think of anybody like Sidney Crosby who has made more out of wingers who were seen as less. There's got to be a less awkward way to put that. He's never had star wingers, but he's always made his wingers better than what they are. And that's still awkward. But Sidney Crosby, no matter what way you put this, he's got smooth hands, and he's able to spot the open guy pretty damn quickly. And it doesn't matter who's on his wing. You can put 2 AHL scrubs on his wing. There'll be 20 goal scorers with him. He'll still end up with 50, 60 assists because he's Sid the Kid. So I had to have Sidney on this list. A very, very tough list to make. Number 4. Ron Francis. Whether in Hartford, Pittsburgh, or then when he went back to that organization and played for Carolina. Francis was very, very astute with the puck. Again, it's about being able to see who's open and pass it to them, which sounds easy. Oh, it sounds really easy. He's open, so I passed it to him. Easy peasy. But being able to thread that needle through defenders, being able to see around guys that are between you and the guy you're passing the puck to, Ron Francis was one of the best at that. So, for me, Francis gets number 4. 3, and this is tough. Mario. Mario's remembered for his highlight reel goals, but he was one hell of a passer. And if you wanted to be a star, play on his wing. I believe it was... there were a bunch of them that had really good years with him on their wings. And I could go through them, but no. There were a lot of guys in the 80s and 90s that benefited from being on his wing and would admit that. Oh, I wouldn't have scored those goals if not for Mario. And not only that, but because Mario was such a magnet for the other team's defenders, everybody wanted to shut Mario down. It made him more dangerous as a passer. So, while Mario, like I said, Mario Lemieux's remembered for his goals, and his goals were spectacular, he really is one of the best passers I ever saw. Number 2, Adam Oates. So why is Adam Oates ahead of Mario Lemieux? Here's why. Brett Hull got 50 and 50, and then Cam Neely got 50 and 50. How did they do it? They did it because Adam Oates was their center. Adam Oates was the best passer for that period in time. And it was scary because there's a lot of these guys who did it on one team. Ron Francis, the exception in the top 5. But Oates did it with Boston just as well as he did in St. Louis. At the time when Adam Oates was moved out of St. Louis, Brett Hull offered to pay some of his money. He's like, all right, I'm getting X amount of money from St. Louis. I will pay for some of his income so you keep Adam Oates. Adam Oates went to Boston. Craig Janney went to St. Louis. Craig Janney was not Adam Oates. Notice Craig Janney isn't on this list. He wouldn't be on this list if it went to 40. Adam Oates, for passing it to 2 guys who hit 50 and 50, and Cam Neely never got anywhere near 50 and 50 before that. Neely was a damn good goal scorer, but Adam Oates made him look crazy good. Now remember, right now at the time that I'm recording this, Nikita Kucherov has almost a point a game, or almost a goal a game. Oates got two guys to a goal a game through 50 games. Brett Hull and Cam Neely owed a lot of thanks to Adam Oates. It's no coincidence that the best season Brett Hull ever put up, by a long shot, he had Adam Oates on his wing. Silky, smooth hands. And number one, when he got into his office behind the net, you knew Gretzky was going to get an assist. The goal was going in. There was a movement at one point where they pushed the net further out from the back end, make more room behind the net. That was for guys like Gretzky. Hey, he's really good at passing from behind the net. Let's give him some more room back there. Didn't work out so well. It didn't last. But I admired what they were trying to do, but it didn't last. Wayne Gretzky had the best vision on the ice. He was never the fastest guy in the league, but he was usually the smartest. And for my money, for top 10 passers, I don't put anybody ahead of Gretzky. And as arduous as this list is to do, and I know people are going to mention Yzerman, what about Messier, what about Sakic? Right. Absolutely. This is tough. But again, I did my best to make sure that they were the 10 that I felt, personally, were the best passers I saw. Let me know your top 10. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And yeah, this is not an easy list to do. And I can't wait for the goal scorers, because I may end up with a nosebleed by the end of that one. Because it's hard to pick who the best goal scorers are, especially when you're looking across different eras. So the modern era versus the one that came before it. Because you can't just look at the assist totals. You have to look at the era, you have to adjust, and you have to figure out, okay, who's really the best of the best? And there are other guys who absolutely, arguably could be on this list. So let me know what you guys think. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you again soon.